Okay, so now let's see for the backend. So in the backend, we have a movie review classification system, and inside the system, this is the project which is written in Java, and inside we have business layer, and we have a classifier service, and inside the business layer.java file is where we have using the business layer to connect the front end and the back end. So for example, in this case, let's look at the inside this business layer. Also we have the core algorithm NB classifier, which takes care of the entire backend, the processing of the backend. So we have the classifier service with application config.java, which has the get classes, which actually gets the resource, which is the sentiment in our case. So it's we get the sentiment dot class that is calling from the classifier service, and then using that particular sentiment we generate positive or negative sentiment towards the front end. So yeah. Yeah, let's see what sentiment and Java. Yeah, inside the sentiment.java, we have the path services path. Inside this services, we have sentiment and the review, which is a parameter which we are sending from the front end API to the back end to use this particular string review, and then accordingly show it on the front end. So using the business layer, this is where we are actually classifying the document, which is the review. Um, so for example, a plot or a review. So what we are doing is we are taking the review, and then we are classifying this review to be a positive or a negative sentiment, which has been trained using this particular data set which is available here. And then so this is the NB classifier core code for this entire project, which takes care of the review using different folders, which has both positive and negative folders with the training data sets. So depending on the positive and negative words which we have given to it, it classifies accordingly from for example, if you see it here, so this NB classifier, inside that it generates the probability of both of the positive and negative things using this hash map, using the conditional probability. And then once it generates this NB classifier, we can classify, once it generates a knowledge base, we can classify the um, new review according to the score which we are calculating it in here. And according to the score calculated, we can assign a negative or a positive label. So even before that, what we are doing is we are using the a list of files for the as the training documents for pre-processing the data. And then for pre-processing, we are actually using the train data folder, which has both positive and negative folders, and using those both files, both folders which have different number of folders. We can actually either increase or decrease the number of files depending on the speed which we want to run the entire program. So the training docs is where the knowledge base is getting generated from. So once this pre-processing and thing is done, we can use the classify method to classify a plot or a sentiment, which sends it to the front end there. So here you can see the labels of the things or the words that are generated from each file, and all the files we are actually just printing it to check if the code is running correctly, or yeah, we just want to check if it's running good.